Hi guys, welcome to another crochet tutorial with me, Laura, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make my cute little dolphin, or is it a shark? We've yet to decide, although someone did say that a shark's tail is different, so it could be either a shark or a dolphin. But this little guy actually is made using a sport baby weight yarn, which is one weight less than a DK light worsted, but you can use any yarn weight that you like really. And with that, I'm using a 3.5mm E4 hook. And I think for this dolphin, I'm going to make a purple dolphin. And also going to need a little bit of black yarn. I actually didn't have black yarn, I only had white yarn. So this little guy's only got white eyes. So you can use white or black if you prefer. And with that, also a yarn needle and a pair of scissors. And also some toy stuffing as well, although I still don't actually have any toy stuffing. So this little guy has no toy stuffing, and this one in the tutorial won't have any toy stuffing either. But you can stuff him or not stuff him, it's entirely up to you. So if you watched my previous video, you'll know that I have left the UK and I've moved to Hungary, so you can go check out that video and find out a little bit more about me moving to Hungary. And I will do more vlogs talking about life in Hungary, so as time goes on. So it's just been quite crazy, quite hectic with the move, everything going on, so haven't had much time even to do Instagram stories, so do bear with me on that. But let's crack on with this tutorial. And so we're going to start off with the purple yarn. So let's grab our purple yarn and we're going to work 6 single crochet into a chain 4 loop or a magic circle. So you can choose your preferred method. I'm going to do a chain 4 loop this time, just so that beginners can follow along. So we're going to do a little slip knot to begin. And chain 4, and it feels like ages since I've actually crocheted. 2, 3 and 4. So chain 4, and then I'm going to slip stitch into that first chain, grab the yarn, bring it through the first chain and through the loop on your hook. And you've got a little tiny loop of 4 chains with a hole in the middle. And don't confuse it with the first chain hole, which can look quite big. You need to find that middle hole. And into there we're going to work 6 single crochet, but I'm going to do a little chain 1 just for leverage. Don't count it as a stitch. I'm going to put our hook into the middle and then just wrapping it around the chains, do a single crochet. So in UK terminology, this is going to be a double crochet. So this pattern's in US terminology. We want 6 of those. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so we've got 6 single crochet, and if you worked into the middle, you can, even though it's on a magic circle, you can just pull in that hole slightly. Then we're going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. Now you don't need to join the round, you can work continuously. The reason I like to join the round in pretty much all my patterns is so it's easier for beginners to follow along. So it's really just a preference. But if you do work continuously in other projects, it won't affect this project. Just make sure that colour changes might be affected, so because they don't join up. So okay, so slip stitch into that first single crochet. And then we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, but we're going to start with a little chain 1. Don't count that as a stitch either. And going back into the same single crochet, we just slip stitch into. We're going to do 1 single crochet. We'll do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, so we're keeping a stitch count of 6. So that's 1, 2, 2, 3. I can't get my hook into my stitches today. 4, 5, 6. Okay, And it looks like there is one stitch left. This is actually what I call the fake stitch. That's just my name for it, so you can always tell who's learnt from me because they use the same name. But this is actually just your previous slip stitch, but we want to make sure we don't work into there. Make sure you've got a stitch count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then skip that fake stitch and find your first single crochet all the way over here and slip stitch into there. So you might want to just pop your project towards you, out towards you, and then slip stitch. So it starts to look like this. Then round 3, we're going to do a little chain 1 again. We're going to start off with 2 single crochet in the same stitch we just slip stitched into. So 2 single crochet, that's 1, 2 in the same stitch. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So I'm going to go into the next stitch, do a single crochet, and go into the next stitch and do a single crochet. We're just going to repeat that all the way around. So the next stitch we do 2 single crochet. It's a very fiddly pattern. 1 and 2. So 2 in there for a little increase, tail end out the way, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2. So 1 and next stitch 2. Okay, and then that's the end of the round. So we just come back to our little fake stitch there, find your first single crochet and slip stitch into there, and your stitch count should have gone up by 2, so you should have a stitch count of 8. I'm just going to slip stitch into there. Okay, moving on to round 4, I'm going to do a little chain 1, and we're going to start off with 2 single crochet in that same single crochet we just slip stitched into. So 1 and that was stitch 2. But this time we're just going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch, just the one, and then we're going to repeat that all the way around. So in the next stitch we do 2 single crochet, so 1 and another stitch, 2, then next stitch 1 single crochet. We should be able to do that one more time, I think, maybe twice more. 2 single crochet in the next stitch, then 1 single crochet. And I'm crocheting along with you today, no skipping forward, because I'm actually filming on my phone today, so giving that a try, which means editing is limited. So next stitch we can do that one more time. Next stitch 2 single crochet, then one more stitch, just 1 single crochet. Then we're back at the beginning. That's our little fake stitch there. Find your first single crochet and slip stitch into there to join the round. You should have a stitch count of 12. It should look hopefully something like that. So you want it to pop out towards you. Okay, so we're going to do one more increase round, so round 5, chain 1, and this time we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first 2 stitches. So starting in the same stitch, we just slip stitch into, do 1 single crochet, then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Then we're going to do 2 single crochet. So I'm mixing up the increases, they're not going to be lining up. 1 and 2. Then we're going to repeat that all the way around. So 1 single crochet in the next 2, then 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next 2, 2 single crochet. Back to the beginning. So 1 single crochet in the next 2, then 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, 1 single crochet in the next 2, then 2 single crochet. Do that one more time, 1 single crochet in the next 2, then ending on 2 single crochet. You should have a stitch count of 16 by the end of this round. Okay, 2 single crochet, and then we're going to, that's our little fake stitch, find your first single crochet and just slip stitch into there to join the round. Okay, so it looks like a little farmer's hat, traditional farmer's hat. Now we're going to do round 6, 7 and 8. So that's three rounds of just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So we're going to start with a little chain 1 and going into the same stitch you just slip stitched into. I'm going to do 3 rounds of just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So I will skip ahead for this bit because it's pretty much just the same thing. 1 single crochet in each stitch around back to the beginning. Do that for 3 rounds. Okay, so just coming up to the end of the 3rd round. So I've done 3 rounds of just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. I'm going to slip stitch to join the round. You should have a stitch count of 16 still. Should hopefully look like this. Then moving on to round 9, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first 2. So go back into that same stitch you just slip stitched into. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And then we're going to single crochet 2 together. Now you can do a traditional decrease where you go into the next stitch, pull the yarn through, go into the next stitch, pull the yarn through, then yarn over and pull through all 3. You can leave it feeling a little bit bulky, and as this is a small project, I'm going to do the invisible decrease. So to do that, we're going to find the next stitch. Instead of going under 2 loops, I'm just going to go under the front loop. Then we're going to straight away, we're not going to yarn over or anything, straight away we're going to bring our hook down and go into the next stitch, but again, only the front loop. So you're just going under the front loops of the next 2 stitches. Then we bring the yarn through, and then we yarn over, pull through to do a single crochet, and that just reduces the amount of yarn used and makes it less bulky. So I'm going to repeat that all the way around. So that's 1 single crochet in the next 2. So 1 single crochet in the next 2, 1, next stitch, 2, then single crochet 2 together. So again, under the front loop, next stitch, front loop, bring the yarn through, pull through both loops for a decrease, and to repeat that all the way around back to the beginning. So 1 single crochet in the next 2, then single crochet 2 together, 1 single crochet in the next 2, 1, 2, then we should have 2 stitches left, yep, and we're going to single crochet those 2 together, just under the front loops. And then we're just going to, that's our little fake stitch, find the first single crochet and slip stitch into there to join the round. Okay, so your stitch count should have gone down to 12 again. So round 10, we're just going to do a chain 1 and then just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So we're keeping a stitch count of 12. So going back into that same stitch, just slip stitched into, do 1 single crochet. Sometimes it helps just to flatten your work. Careful not to go through the back. And work 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So you just count up to 12. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, last few, 8, 9, 10, 11, back to the beginning, last one, 12, and then we slip stitch to join. Okay. So that's the end of round 10. Then we're going to decrease on the next round. So round 11, we're going to do a little chain 1 to begin. And starting in the same stitch, just slip stitched into, we do 1 single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet 2 together. So I'm going to do that invisible decrease again, just under the front loops. And we're just going to repeat that all the way around. So it starts getting very fiddly. 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Single crochet 2 together, just under those front loops. Then 1 single crochet, then single crochet 2 together. If it does get really fiddly, you can just drop down a hook size, which can make fiddly projects a little bit easier. Okay, and shouldn't affect the overall sizing too much. Do that one more time. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and we should have 2 stitches left. Yep, and we're going to single crochet those 2 together. Okay, and then we're going to slip stitch to join the round. So find your first single crochet and slip stitch into there. Okay, so that was the end of round 11. Then round 12, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch round. So our stitch count has gone down to 8, so we'll just count to 8. So do a little chain 1, go back into that same stitch, just slip stitched into, and do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So that's 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch, 3, next stitch, 4, next stitch, 5, next stitch, 6, and then just adjust the camera slightly, 2 stitches left, 6, 7, and the last stitch 8. Okay, so it's getting super fiddly now. Really does help to flatten your work as you go around there. Then join the round. So this is why you might prefer to work continuously, to just make your life a little bit easier. I'm just doing this so you can see where the end of the round is. Okay, so at this point, if you were going to stuff your little dolphin or shark, then this will be the round to do it. So obviously I don't have any stuffing. I might have some yarn scraps. No, I don't even have yarn scraps. I think I've got like that. That's about it. So you can use yarn scraps for stuffing as well. But I didn't stuff this, guys, so I'm not going to stuff this one. Let's see how he turns out. Okay, so moving on to the last couple of rounds now. So round 13, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together to the end. So we're going to drop our stitch count down from 8 to 4. So starting straight away in that first stitch, we just slip stitched into. I'm going to do single crochet 2 together straight away. Okay, then single crochet the next 2 together. 2 stitches. Okay, so front loop and then next front loop. Okay, so I'm struggling to do the invisible decrease, so I might swap to the traditional. So bring the yarn through. It's a little bit easier, so hopefully it'll look okay. Single crochet the next 2 together. So you're really gonna have to weigh up how easy it is to do an invisible decrease or a traditional decrease for your project. But it should still look cute when it's done, so even us so-called experts are not perfect. Okay, and then back to the beginning, and we're going to slip stitch into that first stitch to join the round. Okay, so our stitch count has gone down to 4, so it's super small. And we're just going to finish up one more round, round 14, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, so that's just literally 4 stitches. So we're going to chain 1, starting in that same stitch, 1 single crochet, that's 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch, 3, and then the last stitch, 4. Careful not to go through any other stitches. Okay, so that just gives him a little bit more of a tail at the end, and now we're going to go straight into the tail. And you might want to just join the round. I'm going to bring up a slight loop because my first single crochet is all the way over here. So if you bring up a loop, put your hook into the stitch, bring the yarn through, and then before you finish just pull your yarn again. You can do that slip stitch. Okay, so that's joined the round. So to do the tail, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to do a slip stitch in our second chain from our hook. So we don't count the loop on the hook, so our first chain is our second. Go into there, do a slip stitch. Then we're going to do a single crochet in the next chain. 1 single crochet. Then in the next chain we're going to do a half double crochet, or in UK terminology a half treble in the next chain. Then in the last chain we're going to do a double crochet, or in UK terminology a treble. So pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, so you've got this little triangle shape. Then find somewhere, try and sort of find out which way up you want your dolphin to be. There's the seam, so maybe you want the seam on the bottom, so he's like that. And so what you want to do is slip stitch in an area so his tail sits correctly. That makes sense? Just slip stitch into the main body somewhere. Okay, and repeat that again. So we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip stitch in our second chain, single crochet in the next chain, half double crochet in the next chain, and finishing with a double crochet in the last chain. And then again, just slip stitch into the main body somewhere as neatly as you can. So there's my other, so I'm going to go sort of roughly into that next stitch. Just slip stitch into there somewhere. If I can get my hook through. Come on. And there we go. And then I'm just going to cut our yarn. Pull our yarn through, and then we're just going to hide this tail end. Tail end, get it? The tail end of the tail end, and then we're going to work on some fins for our little dolphin. So I'm just going to hide this tail end, and then I'll come back for the end of the pattern. Okay, so I've hidden that tail end, and that is the sort of main body of our little dolphin, but we need to make 2 side fins. Whoops, not the camera. 2 side fins and a little top fin. So we're going to start off with the side fin, and you just want to make 2 exactly the same. So taking the same yarn, these are super simple. We're just going to do a little slip knot, same yarn and hook, and we're going to chain 4 to begin. So chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's chain 4, and then we're going to do a single crochet in our second chain from hook. So don't count the loop on your hook. There's our first chain, there's our second. So in there we're going to do a single crochet, or a double crochet in UK terminology. Then in the next chain we do a half double crochet, or half treble in UK terminology. And you've probably guessed, in the last chain we're going to do a double crochet or a treble in UK terminology. So we end up with this cute little triangle shape. And then just cut your yarn, pull that through, and we're going to repeat that once more so we get 2 fins, and then just sew that onto the side of the body. Okay, so I'm going to do that and then I'm going to come back. Okay, so I've repeated that for the other side and just sewn those on, and now all he needs is some eyes, obviously. A little top fin, and the top fin's very similar to the side fins. We're just going to take the same yarn and hook, but this time we're going to chain 3. We're going to make it slightly smaller. So we're just going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, chain 3. We're going to do 1 single crochet in the middle chain, so the second chain from our hook, do a single crochet, and then in the last chain we're going to do a half double crochet. So it makes a smaller triangle. Then just cut your yarn, pull that through, and then we're just going to sew that onto the top of the body. Okay, so I'm going to do that and then I'll come back and then show you how to make some little eyes. Okay, so I've sewn that on the top, and all that's left to do now is to give our little dolphin some eyes. So I'm going to take some black yarn this time. I used white yarn last time. And all you need to do is just take 2 short lengths like this. And we're going to tie 2 or 3 knots into the middle on top of each other. Just 1 knot. There. 2 knots, maybe 3. Okay. Then we're just going to sew that onto our dolphin so the knots catch on the outside. So just work out where his eyes are going to be. Maybe here. And then sew one end in. Obviously, if you've stuffed your dolphin, it's going to be a lot easier. So the knots catch on the outside, then sew the other end in. Come out somewhere else on the body, like so. And then you can see the knots just catch on the outside. So I'm going to repeat that for the other side, then I'll come back and show you the finished dolphin. Okay, there is our finished little dolphin. It can go with our other little dolphin with the white eyes. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I hope you managed to follow along, and the quality wasn't too bad on my phone. And hopefully in time, as I get more settled, I'll have a better setup once again, and we can have more tutorials and more vlogs. And don't forget to subscribe, and if you're not subscribed already, and so you don't miss any tutorials or vlogs. And yeah, follow me on Instagram at happyberrycrochet, and I will see you soon for some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.